Hi, I'm Radiance, and welcome to my channel. Now, usually you'll find me in one of my kitchens or out and about in the world, maybe enjoying some food and or sharing creative, simplistic, foodie-inspired recipes. But today I want to talk to you about what being on a plant-based diet, for lack of a better word, but what that has taught me. And I'm gonna specifically talk about, what, being alkaline has taught me, and also vegan, because I've done both. They're not they're not the same. They're vegan, they're alkaline vegans, and then they're vegans who don't eat alkaline. And I've expressed that in a different video, but alkaline vegans would not eat something like garlic. Garlic is not considered, alkaline is considered acidic. And I did a video on alkaline replacements. So a lot of those things are, if you go to that video, you'll see things that will be, approved. You can also even Google the Dr. Sebi alkaline diet, and it will tell you kind of like what's on it, and more about it if you want to learn more. I'm not going to discuss it here, but, and then there's, there's actually difference. So there's raw vegans as well. I've been on that diet, and I'll talk about that probably in another video. And because that was definitely a learning experience. But specifically this one is about, what the alkaline vegan diet and a regular vegan diet taught me. So first things first, I feel like being on an alkaline diet, which I started that, let's see, roughly about over 5 years ago. That was my first time experiencing it. And I did it in a way in which I actually kind of, for lack of a better word, I kind of detoxed some. So this is what I mean by that. I only had what they call a mono meal. And this is what I had. I cooked cabbage. I curried it because, I'm island, so I'm Jamaican, so I'm like, yeah, I curried the cabbage. And I would just have one meal a day. I would drink a half a gallon to a gallon of water a day. And I was working at the time. I was working outside the home. So for me, it was like I just focused on drinking water while I was outside the home. So I didn't bring food. I didn't focus on food. I didn't crave food. And then I would come home at night after work in the evening time, and I would have a bunch of cooked cabbage, and I'd pair it with like a piece of avocado, and either with that meal or sometime a little after, like maybe an hour or so after, I would have what I call dessert, and it would be like a date with a couple of walnuts with sea salt sprinkled on it. And I literally ate that meal every day for about 2-3 months. I know it's extreme. I also drank black cherry juice at night. I would drink like a half a bottle to start. And it really helped to bring some things up, if you know what I mean. Like it helped to clean me out a bit. What I learned from that, and I know it sounds extreme, it was extreme, I'd never done anything like that. What I learned from that is discipline. I learned discipline. I learned a discipline that I had never had or knew I had. And I also shut out all the noise, meaning, honestly, for those 2-3 months, I didn't eat outside. I didn't eat out. I didn't go to any functions that enabled me to eat out. That wasn't my thing. Heck, I even missed a really good friend of mine's party because of that. And we kind of fell out behind it. And so, but I was just in this focus and discipline of this is what I want to do for my body. The interesting part about it is after that, I did go, I don't want to say crazy. A few months later, I went on a trip for my birthday. And I ate things I hadn't eaten in 10-12 years. I'm talking about meat stuff. I was on vacation, you hear me? And I didn't get sick once. And I believe it was a combination between being really clean and also being in a high vibrational space, like being really, really in a good space. And I didn't have any worry or guilt or concern over what I was eating. I just allowed myself. So I say that to say that what I learned was discipline, but I also learned that there is a balance, and that I could very much well, eat what I liked within reason after making sure that my body was well nourished and also clean, right? So I learned that. When I first the first time I ever experienced veganism. I'm not talking about the here and there type of things. I'm talking about when I intentionally was vegan for a year. That was about 11 years ago. I chose to do it to support someone I was in a relationship with. And I did it for a year. And what I learned from that experience was read labels. So this is what I mean by that. I was always the label reader. Heck, I'm the person who gets credit card statements and reads the fine print. In my past life, I used to work for a credit card company, so that's probably where that comes from. But the thing is, I was always into reading labels, but I really read labels then. And what I learned is that there's a lot of foods that I thought that was really healthy that wasn't. There's a lot of foods that I thought, or I didn't realize, tasted probably as good as they did because they had dairy in it. There's a lot of foods that had a lot more ingredients than I really imagined when you really look at what's in it, and some of it's decent stuff, some of it's not so good stuff. So I learned to really read labels, and I learned that, honestly, I also learned I can make better stuff than what's on the shelf. 9 times out of 10. I learned, I think it took my cooking up a level. I was always big on making things from scratch anyway, or making things if I could, or attempting it. And so, I learned that, I really could make some really, really great stuff. I learned that there are sometimes many ways to make the same thing. Case in point, the first time I ever made Alfredo sauce, I made it from a head of cauliflower. It was interesting. It was different. It was like, And then years later, I ended up making like a regular Alfredo sauce and realized what was in it, because I was like, oh, okay. And then later on, I made a vegan version, and I was like, okay, this is what this is. So I knew what the so-called real version tasted like, or traditional version. After making that, because I'd never made Alfredo sauce before, I'd always bought it in a bottle. And so it taught me some things about, I can definitely make things better. I also learned that not everything that you make that is vegan or plant-based is going to taste good. I once tried to make a vegan pad thai. Pad thai is one of my favorite dishes. It really is. When I want something more like Thai or Asian inspired, right? I made it, and I'm talking about, I was in that kitchen for a while. I used to have a really small kitchen when I lived in New York City. I used to have a really, really tiny kitchen. I'm talking about like, I had to like build an IKEA shelf to like, put pots and pans on, because that's how small it was. I had no counter space. I literally had a stove that was small and a sink. That was it. I'm flashing back. But my point is, I created some really good things in that kitchen, and that was actually that time when I was vegan for a year. And I made a pad thai. And I made it for myself. There was no one around. I wasn't with nobody. I was like, I'm making this dish for myself. And I was in my flow. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I chopped them vegetables up, and I sauteed this and, cooked that and whatever. And I went to taste it, and I think it may still be somewhere online. I don't know if I ever kept that picture up, but I remember posting it proudly. And let me tell you something. I tasted that thing, and it was so not good. It was, it was not good. And I don't mean that I didn't think my food is good. I just didn't like the way it tasted. But I also was coming from a space of, I've had pad thai 1,000,001 times. I've had maybe not 1,000,001, but I've had pad thai a lot. I've had a lot of pad thai. And it didn't compare. So I've learned that sometimes things don't translate well. Now, I'm not saying there's not a good pad thai vegan version out there. I haven't had it yet. And when I do, I'll probably tell you about it. But I truthfully just like didn't see it. I just didn't see it. Another thing that I learned, and this is actually, let me not add something. This is the same thing I just said when I say things don't carry over. Vegan mac and cheese. Yeah, I said it. Outside of the one that I make, I'll say the one that me and my partner make, because I used to make it for my meal prep business that we had. I am not a fan of vegan mac and cheese. I haven't tried everybody's, to be clear. I haven't tried everybody's recipe. Some of the most popular chefs out there, I haven't tried their recipe yet. But I will say, over the course of the past few years, I've tried them. there is a vegan fair where I live, and they used to have like different food trucks at this fair, you know, and there was one that had a vegan mac and cheese, and I'll be honest with you, I only liked the version that had like some kind of saved sausage or something in it. I didn't like it outside of that. And I've tried other vegan mac and cheeses, and I just, you know, and I'm gonna say this, it's healthier for you to do like a butternut squash version, but I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I love butternut squash. When I want mac and cheese, I don't want no freaking butternut squash mac and cheese. I'm just saying, unless I'm intentionally doing that to pair it with something else, I do not want a butternut squash mac and cheese, you know, dressed up and pretending to be a mac and cheese. When I want macaroni and cheese or mac and cheese, I want mac and cheese, period. You know, and I've yet to, like I said, you know, find a vegan version that I like. So for many years, before I decided I was gonna like really just focus on dairy-free and a plant-based lifestyle, I would do a lot of plant-based stuff still. I would eat a lot of it, but I refused to have anything that wasn't regular mac and cheese, because I was like, if I'm gonna eat mac and cheese, I might as well just eat the real thing, that's it. And then I created my own version. And then me and my partner kind of elevated that a bit. And now I love what I make, but it's probably the only one I enjoy thus far. So maybe some of y'all got some suggestions out there. You know, leave a comment if you got some suggestions for some good mac and cheese recipes. I would appreciate that. You know, and I'm gonna share mine on this channel one day, absolutely. What else did I learn? I learned that being strict in any way for a long period of time, and this is both when I was alkaline and being vegan, is not always the most sustainable way to be. And I say it because I don't mean that you can't be disciplined. There's a difference between being disciplined for a reason and for a goal, and then also living life. I believe you can have both. Meaning, like, I've had this discussion with my partner. I tell you, I don't label myself, although I would be considered like a plant-based alkaline vegan chef, right? At this point in my life, this is the journey I'm on. But yeah, when I go back home or I go back to Jamaica, I'm probably gonna have some fish, like, and something else, because I know they didn't caught it and where it came from. And the veggies are coming from the farm, you know, and I know where it's coming from. And so there's other places that we're gonna travel to, and we're probably gonna have some of that food too, you know, and I'm just saying. And I may get there and decide not to. My point is, I'm at a point in my life where I don't judge myself or anyone else for that matter. And I'm saying this to you, you know, like heartfelt, that I believe that we should be able to do what we want to do. Part of the reason why I really work on a healthy life for myself, that's both not just in diet but in mindset, is because one of my goals in life is to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that goes for eating. I want to be able to eat whatever I want to eat and still be healthy. You know, so I may load up on lots of water and lots of vegetables, you know, and home cooked meals. And honestly, on the weekend sometime, we order out. I did so last weekend, period, like twice. Because I'm not always cooking. I love cooking, but sometimes I like to take a break. And sometimes I'm traveling, and I don't always have access to certain things, you know, and I will make a choice. You know, I'm big on bringing snacks, and I'll talk about that too, probably in another video, but I just feel like, you know, you should be able to leave room for grace, give yourself grace, and also have fun with it, like have fun with life. Like, you know, there's enough to be said for you eating a more healthful way and whatever is best for you, right? Hopefully on this channel, I'm helping you to add some like more helpful tips and helpful recipes. But I would also like to add that one of the things I want you inspired to do is to live out loud and have fun with your life, right? Have fun with your food, right? And celebrate and enjoy it, whatever it's gonna be, right? You know, I'm a big believer in eating a burger if that's what I want, and I'm not talking about any type of burger, I'm not being specific. If it's beef and that's your fancy, fine, or chicken burger, you know what I mean? Beef burger, chicken burger, turkey burger, bacon burger, whatever. eat it in fun and enjoyment, right? Because I believe that part of the reason that people get sick is because they eat something they want, and then they feel guilty about it because they're like, this is not healthy, or it's and it's like, come on. I think it's one of two ways. If it's gonna be like that, then don't eat it. But if you're gonna do it with zest. Do it with like joy. Do it like being like, yeah, I deserve this, or yeah, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And maybe just do it once in a while, as opposed to doing it every single week or every single day, right? The same. People use the word moderation, but I kind of feel like not just moderation, but being conscious about like your movements and your choices, right? And so, once again, I can't tell you how to be or how to eat. I just want to inspire you to look at food differently, look at your life differently, celebrate, have fun with it, enjoy it, enjoy the food, right? Experiment, try different things, but have fun around it all, you know what I mean? And have those shared experiences with your loved ones, and with this community, So, that's what I've learned. Those are a few of the things I've learned, being, at one point alkaline, being vegan at one point, but just, being on a plant-based, healthier journey. Those are the things I've learned. So I hope this video was inspiring to you. Thank you for joining me. If you've liked this video, subscribe to the channel, but also give it a thumbs up, like it. Remember what I said, comment if you have any mac and cheese recipes, or if you have anything else you want to share. Maybe you have like a recipe that you want me to try on this channel, go for it. You never know, it may pop up. But yeah, and also click the link in my bio and join my free VIP group to gain more insights, right? More recipe tips, details that I don't share on here. And come over to the community, for more fun, and adventure as well, right? And more inspiration. So thank you so much for joining me again. You have a wonderful one, and I'll see you next time.